Good evening, guys. It's been a little while since we've talked, probably a couple of weeks. I actually already captured this video on my Canon T2i because I was not planning on using a small camera or the playbook or anything to do the video. I wanted to actually use the nicer camera, but a part of the way through shooting, it just decided to stop recording, and it doesn't give me any sort of notification, and I was frustrated. So I'm going to do it on this. I'm actually using my laptop at this point. It's like I said, it's been a few weeks since we've talked. I don't remember if I did anything directly after Christmas or not. I don't think I did. If one way or another, if I didn't, sorry about that. But it's been busy around here. I told you this before. We have been looking at buying a new house. We've been looking to sell our current house and move to another place to get a little bit more space so that the family can grow, get into a different part of town, maybe different school systems, better yard. Currently, the place that we live, our yard is kind of a hill, so not really much place for our son to play. Anyway, so in addition to that, I've been doing a lot of work on our house to get our house in better condition to be sold. And along with that, I ended up doing something today that I never thought that I would end up doing. I took out a toilet and replaced it. It's not that the toilet was broken. Actually, my father-in-law came here a while back, and he's not a small man, but he's got a problem with his leg that makes it difficult to sit down. So apparently, in sitting, he managed to break one of the bolts on the toilet, and we didn't notice it until today. He said he tightened it back down, and it wasn't rocking anymore. So yeah, my dad was here this weekend, and we were looking around at it, and it's like, it's actually kind of rocking again. Oh, look at this bolt, it's snapped in half and rusted. So it was going to happen one way or another. Anyway, so we went out to the hardware store, we picked up some pieces, and while he was here today, I pulled the toilet, we replaced the bolts, we cleaned everything up, and put the toilet back in place with a new seal and everything. So it was definitely a learning experience, and the way that I put it when I filmed it before, it was... it really feels like a last step into manhood. One of those, I was a child before, I spend a lot of time on the computer, and I spend a lot of time playing with my son and spending time with the family, but I've never done a lot of the really in-depth DIY stuff, and this feels like that final step toward manhood, I guess. I don't know. It's a bit late to be saying that, I guess. Anyway, other than that, we did some other plumbing stuff. My wife's shower head was leaking, so we fixed that. Didn't take a whole lot of work, and actually the part was only about $1.50 to get. It was just a little rubber grommet and spring that we put on the inside of the shower handle to keep the water from flowing when it's not supposed to. So that was interesting. I won't say it's fun, but it was again, one of those things you kind of need to do. The reason we're doing this, of course, like I said, to try to sell the house. The new house that we're looking at, the one that we actually really like and are hoping to get, is the same price as our current house is, or pretty close, so that the payment would not be any different. Additionally, though, it's going to take a lot of hard DIY type work, and by that I mean do it yourself. I don't know if I've mentioned that. Anyway, a lot of drywall, painting, new carpets, or just cleaning carpets, fixing holes in the walls and stuff. Because it is a repossessed property. And if you're not familiar with that, this is something my dad is really into. The first house that I ever lived in with my wife, once we got out of college, was a repossessed home. It's something that the previous owner stopped making the payments on, or couldn't make the payments on, and the bank took it back from them, and we bought it at an auction, and we got it for significantly less than the retail price would have been. That's wonderful for a lot of people. It's not so much for everybody, though, because there are a lot of people that will look at, for example, the room that I'm in. The walls are kind of a khaki color. They're kind of a brownish, chocolate color, I guess. And a lot of people would walk into this room and say, I don't like that color, so we're not going to buy the house. When myself, my wife, and my dad in particular will walk into this room and say, oh, that's brown. I don't really care for that. Let's paint it. Let's make it blue. Let's make it pink or green or whatever else. And, a couple hours later, you've got a completely different room, essentially. But it's not just painting. We can do carpeting. Actually, the floor in this room, I don't know if you've seen it or not. I think you did when I showed my house shoes the other day. That tile we put down because we had nasty-looking carpet in here before. The walls actually, this entire basement was a completely different room when we moved in, and we took down all wallpaper. We took down the chair rail because it was ugly. Painted the entire room. Actually, I think we redid all the drywall because in taking all the stuff off the walls, they had nasty old paneling. It ruined the drywall for the entire room. So this entire room was gutted and redone. Anyway, completely random, off-topic rambling, and I'm fidgeting a lot. But it's been a very interesting couple of weeks. Learned a lot. I've done a lot. Wish that I had taken more time to do more videos, but that's all in the works kind of stuff. Like I said on the main channel, and I think on this channel, there's a lot of stuff that I've got planned. It's just a matter of finding the time and making it happen. Moving on to other stuff, things have been really interesting at work lately. I think I mentioned it before. I'm going to be working on virtualization at work. Well, I talked to my boss's boss, the director of my division, and explained to her what needs to be done and that I'm going to do it because the other people that I work with, a lot of them just well, for one, they don't really want to deal with the server stuff, or they don't know how to deal with the server stuff. And so when a new server needs to be put in place for something, they just grab a desktop machine and put it up on a shelf and throw the server operating system on it and say that it's done. And that's not a good idea. That's very clearly not a good idea. Now, the bad thing about doing this virtualization project is that we do not have any budget. We have Windows Server licenses, and that's it. Now, before you say just run Linux, we can't. We're not allowed. We can run Red Hat, but the software that we're using is Windows only, and the software that has been developed for the last 20 years or so is Windows only. So unless I'm ready to take every piece of software that we've got, and we've got about 10 different major applications, and redesign them all to work with Linux, I'm kind of up a creek. So for the time being, it's going to have to all be done on Windows using Microsoft's Hyper-V. One of my friends from college is a VMware certified something trainer, technician, something, and said, in all fairness, I can't allow you to use Hyper-V. And that's definitely understandable. I wish that I could use VMware products, but we haven't got any budget. The Microsoft products we do have licensing for, we are allowed to use, and so I'm going to have to do that. And the good thing about it is it does expand my resume just a little bit. I've used VMware in the past, the ESX product, the ESXi product, Server, vSphere, whatever else. I've used a lot of those products, but I've never done the Microsoft side of things. So it should be interesting to at least give it a shot. And again, I know that there are free Linux virtualization products, but I don't know if we have enough server licenses to, I don't know. The worst case scenario, if Hyper-V doesn't work out, I may try Xen or KVM or something else, but we do want to have those enterprise kind of tools available, like being able to do backups on the fly, being able to do failover, high availability stuff. We've got a couple of servers we're going to be using, so I've looked into that, and I don't know. Hopefully it will work out for the best. I will definitely let you know what happens in the future. I think that's about all to mention for today. Like I said, it's been a long couple of weeks, a very long day, because the toilet move and the shower fix and everything, that was all today. I've got a lot of other home projects I have to do, a lot of painting, a lot of drywalling, a lot of just little fix-it things here and there. So I'm going to be extremely busy for the next few weeks. The reason being, the house that we're looking at, the repossessed house we're interested in, they just dropped the price. That's why it is affordable for us now. And most likely somebody else is going to snatch it up. So if we don't get our house ready to go and get it sold within the next few weeks, we will probably miss out on it, and that will suck. I guess the last thing to mention, like I said earlier, way earlier, Christmas was upon us recently. When my wife's family came in, my mother-in-law got me a robe for Christmas. I had mentioned that I would be interested in a robe, and the only one she could find was this very thin, sheer, black, sort of effeminate robe from JCPenney. And after Christmas, I very quickly took that back and picked up a fedora. I'm not normally a hat-wearing person. I normally, I've got baseball caps for those days that I just want to wear a baseball cap. But being colder weather and the fact that I've just always wanted a, old man's hat, now I've got one, and it's okay. It was free, basically. I mean, the Christmas present I had went back, and this was the same price, so cannot complain. I would like it if it were red, but I don't have the money to buy a red hat for myself, and I don't have a job with red hat. Maybe, if I'm really lucky, someday. That's about all I've got for you today, though, guys. I think, again, sorry recording this on a webcam, and boy, it's getting kind of long, so I'm definitely going to let you go now. Thank you so much for watching and your support and everything. Hope you're having a wonderful new year so far, and I will see you again in the very near future. Bye, guys.